G'day kids, it's your old mate Uncle Nico back again with another super fun and entertaining CPAP video. If only that was the truth. It's not, I'm sorry, it's a lie. It's very, very hard to make this stuff fun and entertaining. I'm not even sure how I ended up here. I could have chosen anything to review. Guitars, fishing rods, golf clubs, power tools. But instead, I'm stuck here talking to you about these things. CPAP machines, air pumps. Oh dear, but at least it's educational, hey? I mean, that's important, right? Guys, anyone important? Oh, well, while you're here anyway, we may as well have a little chat, and I think we'll chat about noise. La 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 la. CPAP noise. Now, I was just doing a little bit of a noise comparison between this shiny little touchscreen gizmo over here, the brand new AirSense 11, and old Mr. Reliable, Mr. Faithful, Mr. Trustworthy, the AirSense 10. I love it. Now, set both machines up to 10 centimeters of pressure, and I've been using this mask for the last 2 weeks, the Fisher & Paykel Avora Full. The seal is incredible. No mask leaks. It is amazing. Love the seal. The rest of the mask is good as well. Kind of looks a little bit like an Amara View or an F30i, so the design's a little bit similar to others, but the seal is pure gold. Loving it. So anyway, I got both machines set to 10, whack on the Avora Full, hit the on button, and straight away I noticed that the AirSense 11 was much quieter. In fact, I was quite taken back because I wasn't expecting there to be that much difference in the noise level between the two machines. And then the penny dropped. On the AirSense 10, I had the EPR, the pressure relief settings, set to 3, the maximum level. Whereas on the AirSense 11, I had it completely switched off, no pressure relief. And that made a lot of difference. When I leveled up the settings and put them both to an EPR of off, completely off, the noise was much more level, much more on par. The AirSense 11 may be a little bit quieter, but not that much quieter. And then I thought, well, hey, maybe I'll just come up here to the bedroom, happiest place on earth, and do a little bit of video on noise. Just talk a little bit about noise and maybe give you a few tips on how you can reduce noise or even just drown it out a little bit. So here we are. And noise is probably the most frequently asked question when it comes to CPAP machines. Anyone who's going to start with a CPAP machine, the first thing they say, how noisy are they? And that's quite ironic, isn't it? Because those people, you know who you are, you're the noisiest people on earth. With all your snoring and stuff, you're worried about a bit of pump noise, forget about it, all right? But look, it's a legitimate question, and there's been big improvements in noise over the years, but they've sort of hit a little point now around that 26, 27 decibel mark, where, look, I'd love to see it get lower, but it seems to be just hovering around there, maybe just little marginal differences. But noise is funny, right? We've all got our own tolerance of noise. Some people just like completely no noise, blackout blinds, complete silence. Whereas other people like myself, I don't mind a bit of noise. I've got quite a noisy bedroom. I got a young fella in the cot, wailing all night. I have a white noise machine for him, but also for myself. I love white noise. It just really levels out the noise. I have my earbuds in, listening to war documentaries for half the night. We've got frogs outside and birds and all sorts of stuff. And I sleep with the blinds open. So I'm completely different. Everyone's different. I think that's important. But for those of you who don't like noise, here's a few tips that I can give you that maybe help a little bit. So the first thing we'll discuss is those pressure relief settings. The higher you have those pressure relief settings, generally the noisier your CPAP machine will be. And it'll also give it a different sound profile. And that's because the motor is switching between inhalation and exhalation pressure. And that switch in the pressure between the motor going slower and faster gives it that changing noise. You hear that. And when you get a change in noise, like a higher change in noise, it's more disturbing for your brain. If it's at one level, like white noise, at that sort of one generic level, your brain sort of sets that as the baseline and doesn't really care too much about it. But when you get those changes in noise, you start thinking about them a lot more. So that's something, you can try. Turn your pressure relief settings down. You might find it a little bit harder to breathe out, but over time you get used to it. I have it off personally. The next thing you might want to look at is the position of your CPAP machine. Most of you will have it up here on the bedside table. Like I do, I have it up here as well because the noise doesn't bother me. But if it is bothering you, you might want to switch it up a bit. You can put it lower to the ground, ideally off the ground because it can be quite dusty down on the ground, but ideally off the ground. That will also help with rain out, moisture building up in your CPAP tube. But when it's down there, not right next to your head, the mattress will also act to absorb some of that noise and it's further away from you. Now, the next thing is my personal favorite. I've just really gotten into this and I love it. White noise. It's beautiful. I just listen to it through Spotify, although when the little fella here, Jack's here, we have its own little white noise machine that some of you might have seen that red light that I have in my bedroom, but this is just Spotify. There's a lot of different types of white noise. Just find one that you find sort of soothing and calming. This is the one I listen to. It's called Dreams and Calmness. So I just like the pitch. It's got a bit of a rumble to it. Almost like maybe being on an aeroplane, that sort of a white noise. But what I find is when I put that here next to the CPAP machine, it just really levels out the noise. You don't hear the changes in the noise. There's one static noise, and I find it very relaxing, personally. All right, so there's a cool little tip for you. Now, this next tip is a bit of an expensive one, and you'd probably only go and buy them if you were desperate, or perhaps you like exercise and running and listening to music. They're Apple Earbud Pros, and they have noise cancellation technology. And basically what that means is when you put them in the ear, they drown out all the ambient noise outside of your ears. And they work a treat. I use them of a nighttime listening to history docos. That's my favorite thing. War documentaries. I love war documentaries. It's just fascinating. World War I, World War II, Stalingrad, Barbarossa, Midway, Pearl Harbor, Hitler. It's just crazy to think that all that stuff happened not that long ago when the world was in absolute turmoil. Anyway, I'm babbling on. That's what I do when I start talking about history, but it just fascinates me. But yeah, there's something you can look at, and there's probably some other brands as well, some cheaper brands, but these ones, I just like these ones. They work really well. They were given to me as a little gift from my lovely wife. Not my best video, but I hope you enjoyed it. Have yourself a lovely day. I'll be doing the AirSense 11 video soon, and I'm going to start giving away some AirSense 11 machines. I know some of you don't like Facebook, even though we've got a great Facebook private group. I know some of you don't like Facebook, so I'm going to be giving away one a month. I'm going to do one on the Facebook group, one on YouTube, and sort of rotate them probably for the next year. So keep an eye out for that. I'll make it nice and easy for you to enter the competition. And yeah, start doing a few giveaways. Should be fun. See you soon, guys. Look out for one another and have a great day. Bye.